Welcome all to a brand new video series. Thank you for joining me. If you don't know me already, my name is Peter Rising. I'm a Microsoft MVP. And in this series, I want to talk to you about Microsoft Purview. The series is going to be all about learning Microsoft Purview from the ground up, from the very beginning. We are going to look together into some of the legacy and core features of Microsoft Purview. I'll explain what Microsoft Purview is, what it does, how it ties into other Microsoft security products, and we'll explore together some of the newer features, the new look and feel of the new portal that is imminently released, and we'll get to know it together. Disclaimer, there are going to be things that I'm not as comfortable with in this journey as others. Microsoft Fabric stuff, anything related to Azure is not particularly in my wheelhouse. I'm very at home in Microsoft 365. And to address that, I will try and learn as we go with you to give you the full experience of Microsoft Purview. If I can't give you that level of expertise, I will look to bring in guest speakers in this series who can share their knowledge on those subjects. So we'll try and give you the best experience possible for that. This first video in the series is free to everyone on the channel, but following that, to consume the rest of the series as we go along, you will need to join the channel at my lowest level of membership, and that is the junior consultant level. To do that, please click on the join button, which you'll find just below, and you'll see all the levels of membership. Click junior consultant, which in the UK costs 99 pence per month. US, I think it's probably something very similar, like 99 cents or thereabouts. So if you could support the channel, it helps me to grow so much. It's massively appreciated, and it's getting you access to what I hope is going to be some very, very good content that we can all learn and grow together with. So without any further ado, let's get into this first video in the series, which is scene setting. It's all about what Purview is, looking at the portal, having a good run through it, and getting us started on this journey together. Let's get started. So let's start at the very beginning in the Microsoft Purview portal or portals. There are at the moment two Purview portals, or more precisely, there is the Purview portal and the compliance portal. Compliance.microsoft.com will get you to the existing portal, the one that is to be retired by the end of 2024. We may, through this series, refer to this where we absolutely need to, but by and large, I'm going to work from the new experience, the new Purview portal at purview.microsoft.com, because this is the way things are going. We should encourage ourselves to use the new portals, because after December, this is where we will be using all of the technology. So with that bit of housekeeping out of the way, let's get to know the new Microsoft Purview portal, and we'll set the scene by explaining exactly what Microsoft Purview is. It's something that brings together solutions across the principles of data governance, data security, and compliance. And when we say data, you can interchange that with the word information as well. You will often hear it described as information governance, information protection, information security. So for data, think information as well. Those terms very interchangeable in the context of Microsoft Purview. Some might argue that there is a distinct difference between data and information, and you'd probably be right. So this enables you to govern and secure your data wherever it lives. What are the supported cloud platforms for Microsoft Purview within the portal? We have Microsoft 365, Microsoft Azure, Microsoft Fabric, and other cloud platforms as well. It does tell you here at the moment, are you having trouble finding specific features or solutions? If so, that is because some features and solutions from the classic portals either have a new home or were retired. To find the ones that have moved, Try searching for them above. There is a search bar right here. This is your best friend if you want to quickly search for and find a feature within Microsoft Purview. Or you can review a list of relocated and retired features. So if you're already familiar with Purview and you're here for a bit of a refresher to fill some gaps in your knowledge, and you're more familiar with the older or existing compliance portal, take a look at this Microsoft Learn documentation, and it will show you where some of those features are that you are familiar with but you can't find. So for example, classification in the older portal, that is renamed as Classifiers and has moved to the left navigation area for each solution. Content search, another example, now included as one of the core components in eDiscovery, which is still in preview within the new portal. It's long been argued that content search is a part of eDiscovery or not. It's closely tied to it, and I would describe it as the most basic form of eDiscovery capabilities. So take a look at these and make sure that you're aware of where these features have gone. Okay, let's get back into our Purview portal. And for the remainder of this video, we'll just get to know the Purview portal a little bit before we move on to video 2, 3, and onwards. We'll go through each solution one by one and do some demos, some best practices, some tips and tricks. We'll try and go through everything that we possibly can. Slight disclaimer at this time, and I learn as I go. I'm continuously learning. I'm absolutely not an expert in Microsoft Fabric. I am less of an expert in Microsoft Azure than I am in Microsoft 365. As we go through, I'll try and cover, to the best of my ability and the best of my learning and discovery, these principles as well. If I fall down on any areas, what I will try and do is I will try and seek guidance from other members of the community who can maybe step in and do some talks with me, or I will try and guide you towards better resources that can help. Now, on that point, before we get into solutions and see what solutions are included, we'll sort of skip down a little bit and let's look at the Learn content within the new Microsoft Purview portal. And I am massively impressed, I have to say, at what is included in here. It takes you into a new knowledge center, which is broken down into docs, videos, and blogs. So you can get access to information in lots of different ways, in your preference, in your preferred manner of consuming learning about Microsoft Purview. Now, in the docs, you can see we have a lot of content in here, and we can filter this by all docs, so we can look at just the core features, the data governance features, the data security, data compliance and privacy, and so on. A very handy starting point is we've already covered this in short form. What is Microsoft Purview? And it goes into more detail here and gives you a learn more link. And again, it's a family of data governance, data security, risk, and compliance apps that help you govern and protect your data estate. If you want to learn more, click on Learn More, and it takes you right into this Learn About Microsoft Purview article. And it tells you all about how it combines the former Azure Purview and Microsoft 365 compliance solutions together in a unified platform to help your organization gain visibility into data across your organization, safeguard and manage sensitive data across its life cycle wherever it lives, govern data seamlessly in new and comprehensive ways, and manage critical data risks and regulatory requirements. So this little diagram here shows you how this all comes together in one solution. So nice little Learn article which you can refer to there. There is some training here as well. If you want to learn and train Microsoft Purview, for example, to prepare for taking the SC 400 Information Protection Administrator Associate qualification, you can browse all the training modules here. Again, that's going to take you to the learn.microsoft.com website, and it's going to filter that based on Purview. You can see it has terms equals Purview there in the in the search criteria, and it shows you all of the modules that you can go through to improve your learning on Microsoft Purview. It tells you how much time is needed for each section, each module, and you can add these and save them to your learning profile and go through them at your own pace. And as you can see, there is a lot to go through. So as we go through each video in this series, you might want to bookmark this to use alongside this video series and augment your knowledge as you go. Because as you can see there, that's not even on one page. There are 2 pages of learning sources there for you to look at. There are also developer resources available. This is an area well out of my comfort zone. I will try and cover it in some way in the series. Anything APIs is not my cup of tea at all. It's not something I've ever done. Just a little disclaimer there, but we'll try and cover it either by my own learning or by bringing in expertise in the series to cover that particular topic. So I will not skip over that because I don't know it. We'll find some way as we go to try and address that for you adequately. But again, it's going to link you to learning tutorials, and maybe I need to go through this myself to authenticate for APIs. And you're going to learn in here how to authenticate for the Microsoft Purview data plane APIs. And anyone who wants to submit data to Purview and include Purview as part of an automated process or build their own experience on Purview can use the APIs to do so. So very powerful stuff in there, and we will get to that in one way, shape, or another. The core capabilities, it's telling you all about the core capabilities to setting up and configuring solution experiences across Microsoft Purview here. And it breaks that down into mapping data, so links to register new sources, create a scan rule set, manage integration runtimes, and then classify data. So you can create your own custom classifications, apply classifications, and automatically label content. And as we go through, we will get into each of the solutions that speak to these principles. So keep on going down. There is a wealth of information in here. I'll not drain the rest of this page. You can do so yourself. But we can see general concepts, discover data, curate with business concepts, manage data integrity, review your data estate's health, into data security, protect data, prevent data loss, minimize insider risks, encrypt data and control encryption. Into data compliance, we can minimize communication risks, we can manage business, legal, and regulatory requirements, and manage compliance and review something I can't quite make out. Review reports, there we go. Just a little bit of patience there. And we can manage data privacy as well. And that's just the documents. If you prefer to consume your knowledge in video format, there are links to all sorts of videos here, which you can consume in all or by filtering on data governance or core or data security, data compliance and privacy, and so on, and links to blogs as well. Access all the latest security blogs here, tech community blogs, data governance, data security. There is literally a wealth of information here for Microsoft Purview. Okay. Next, before we go back and have a brief look at the solutions, I just want to click onto the settings menu here. And we can see in the overview of the settings here, my account overview, it's going to show your tenant name here. My tenant name is Microgenesis 365, and my account type is free. I also have an option to upgrade my account here. So while we're here, let's take a quick look at that. Now I can upgrade, if I wish, to Microsoft Purview Enterprise. Now, in order to do that, you are going to need an Azure subscription available. I currently don't have any subscriptions available, so if we want to have a look at some of those features, I may do a video in this series that is specific to this, but disclaimer again, just for the purposes of setting the scene for this series, this will be a Purview video series for the most part based on the standard or free version of Purview, if you like. So we'll come back to this. We'll not ignore it, and we will look at that when I can tie it to an appropriate subscription, which currently in this tenant I do not have, although I do have it in other tenants. We have roles and scopes in the settings here, and we can see not only roles and scopes for Microsoft Purview here, but we can link to roles for Microsoft Entra ID here. So we were formerly known as Azure AD and still in fact labeled as Azure AD roles in this context. So we can see familiar roles in here like Global Administrator, and we can go in and can we assign? Yes, we can manage the members, but it's going to take us to Entra ID to manage those members of those Entra roles, which makes sense that you wouldn't be able to do it directly from here. We can look at the role groups for Microsoft Purview solutions, and you can create your own role groups right here if you want to, your own custom role groups if needed. So very straightforward to do. You can create a name for the role group. So just call it RG1 for argument's sake, click on next, and then you can choose the roles that you want to assign to that role group. So custom role groups, something you can easily set up as you need them. Very, very simple to do. Add the members and review and finish. I'll cancel that because I don't want to create a role group at the moment. It's important to know these role groups as a Purview administrator. So this learn more about role groups here is very, very important. Click on that to learn more about them, and it will tell you in here what those role groups are all about and the permissions needed to use features in the compliance portal. So here we have some of the the global administrator is an Azure AD role, but here we have compliance administrator, compliance data administrator, and be careful how you assign these roles. I am in as a global administrator right now, the top level. Always be careful about issuing that one for obvious, hopefully obvious reasons. People who need to be in Purview in a business as usual scenario should not have the global administrator. They should probably have some form of security role, security admin, security operator or reader, compliance admin, compliance data admin. And ideally, they should be granted with the principles of just in time using privileged identity management. So that is something that is very, very important. So have that in mind. Don't use global admin, but set those roles up as you need them. Understand what these are and make sure they are appropriate. So I won't drain that content. There is a new role here actually that I don't think I've seen before, Purview Administrator. So if you click onto each role, you can see some information about that role. So in this case, as it loads, we should be able to see a description for the role, hopefully. The role group name, the role group description. Now that's a baked-in role. It doesn't have a description, which is a bit lousy. Roles within this role group. It has the admin unit extension manager, the Purview domain manager, and role management. No assigned members, although we can edit the role here and add in members to it. So we can choose users, we can choose groups and add those in as we need to. There's also grayed out, the option to assign admin units. I am presuming at this point that is either grayed out because I have no admin units set up, or admin units is not appropriate to this role. I'm going to think it's the former rather than the latter. We can't remove members, obviously, because we don't have any members. So that just gives you a flavor of what you can do with these role groups. So take the time to make sure these are appropriate for those people who need to use Purview. If you're just learning Purview yourself in a tenant that is not in production, it's a demo test tenant, then no harm using a global admin, but you're still going to need to assign some of these roles on occasion to use some of the features within Microsoft Purview. A good example of that is eDiscovery Manager. The eDiscovery Manager role is something you will have to assign to get access to some or all of the features of eDiscovery. And you'll see more about that when we come to eDiscovery in this series. Okay, so That is the role groups. We also, in this section, have adaptive scopes here as well. And I have some examples of this already here, and we'll get to adaptive scopes in more detail as we progress through, because these are things that apply to particular solutions, from memory, I think data loss, data lifecycle management is one of those that could potentially be quite relevant to adaptive scopes. But just to briefly describe them, these scopes consist of attributes or properties that define the users and groups and sites in the org. And when added to an adaptive Purview policy, the policy will automatically update to match the criteria defined in the scope. Again, you can learn more. This is the beauty of these Microsoft portals. Learn more is always present. It will take you to the excellentlearn.microsoft.com to learn more about these capabilities. We can see I have some here already. Let's just take a very brief look at those. And I can look at the scope details. So here I have marketing department is the name, the description. It shows me that this scope will be used in retention label policies and retention policies targeted to the marketing department. Okay, I have an admin unit tied to this. I have the type of user. I've put in the query of department equals marketing. So what that basically means is that any Entra ID user who has marketing as their department will be targeted by this adaptive scope when it is attached to a retention label policy or a retention policy. And we can look at those scope details in more detail here. If I click onto it, it will load it up and we can see how that is all configured. It did open that in a new tab, and I'm just being very patient and waffling on a little bit here whilst it loads, which it is doing very slowly. Come along, you can do it. And there we are. We're into our scope. And we can see the name and the description there again. That was pretty underwhelming, really, at the end of the day. But there you go. Okay, we'll close that off and we'll go back to here. And what we can do, what I think I was wanting to do there was actually edit the scope. There we go. That's what I wanted to get to. So we can't change the name, but we can change the description. We can select the admin unit. We can change that if we would like to. We can't change the scope type, but there we go. We can look at the query that we used, and we can alter that or add to it. But that gives you a bit of a flavor for that adaptive scope capability. We've got some data connectors in here in the settings, so we can look at data connectors. We can look at all connectors in this section here, which is loading. And this is something that will allow you to take control of non-Microsoft data and connect to things like Android archivers and Bloomberg message and all sorts of stuff. You can see popular and new connectors. So this is definitely something, as I've indicated already, which is a little bit out of my area of expertise, but we'll try and learn together along the way with that, or I'll bring in some specific expertise to talk to us on that in the series. And it can show you any of your own connectors here as well. Really nice stuff indeed. So the portal does seem to be on a bit of a go slow today, which is slightly irritating for demo purposes, but never mind. Next, we have device onboarding. I've done videos on this quite recently. You've seen some of the struggles I've had with onboarding my devices, particularly my macOS devices. If you're curious, I still have not resolved that problem. I'm still having a problem with that MacBook showing as not updated on configuration status. But for the purposes of when we get to this stage of the course, I will very likely will hopefully correct this by then, or I will spin up a Windows device and do it that way, because I'm pretty certain that this is macOS related that I'm having this problem with. So device onboarding, offboarding, optical character recognition as well. These are settings that we can look into, but OCR scanning is charged on a pay-per-use basis here and requires Microsoft Syntax billing to be set up. So that is something that you need to be aware of. You need to get a license for Microsoft Syntax, formerly known as SharePoint Syntax, to be able to use the OCR features. And what this does, as it says here, when turned on, it lets you scan images for sensitive information using existing records management, DLP, or insider risk policies, format supported in OCR scanning includes pretty common ones there, and you can learn more about it there. That is something I would definitely like to try, so I might have to get a bit of a trial for Microsoft Syntax on this tenant. So that sort of takes us through some of the top sort of level principles of Microsoft Purview. And then we have specific solution settings here at the bottom as well. I probably, in the context of this video, will not drain this content right here, right now. What I think I'll do as we cover each of these in each video is I will come back into the settings and look at these specifically in relation to that particular topic. So we'll not go into any of these right now, but I did want to just show you the settings here and what that meant. So you'll notice that we have a couple of other pinned items here. Information protection and e-discovery are pinned on the left-hand bar there. I'm not quite sure why they are pinned specifically, possibly because these are solutions that I regularly access in my own workings with Microsoft Purview. So anyone who knows me well knows I'm a big fan of e-discovery, and just give you a little sneak peek there of that new experience there, and shows this all together in one place with the standard, the premium, the content searches all in that place now. And related solutions is nice as well. It tells you all about audit, which is really cool. So I imagine as you start using solutions, it might start building up some more of those more commonly used solutions down the left there. But if you want to see all of the solutions in your Purview Center, just click on Solutions, and it pops out here, this little handy little scroll panel, and it shows you them all in alphabetical order that are available. AI Hub in preview, great feature, something that I was trying to get my device onboarding working for to explore more to come on that. Audit, communication compliance, compliance manager, data catalog, data lifecycle management for retention. Records management ties in quite strongly to that. DLP, e-discovery, information barriers, information protection, insider risk management. We will go through all of these solutions as we go through this course. I may not cover these in alphabetical order because I don't think it's logical to do so, especially as AI Hub is a preview feature. What I think I will do is I will start with the common, what I would consider the core features of Purview, such as data loss prevention, information protection, and data lifecycle management. And we'll talk a lot about Compliance Manager in that as well. And then we'll expand out into what I consider more of the bespoke or boutique features of Purview as we go through the series. So I'll try and do it in a logical order. It also very handily here tells you about related portals at the bottom of that pop out. And if you want to explore those all in one screen, you can see that they are all listed nicely in this view here. And again, it reminds me you can start a free trial to experience more beyond the free capabilities, and I definitely want to look into that to make sure that I give you the whole experience of Microsoft Purview. But as I've said before in previous videos where I've covered the new Microsoft Purview Portal, I like it a lot. I like the navigation of it, the feel of it. It's starting to feel instinctive to me, having known the compliance portal for a very long time. So I'm looking forward to getting into this series and seeing your response to it. Let me know what you think about the plan for this series and this video in terms of setting the scene, in terms of you getting to know this new portal experience. I will point out that further videos in this series will require a junior consultant level of membership on my channel. Click the join button, select junior consultant, which is my lowest price of membership. I hope you will do so and support the channel. And this is going to be a lot of fun, this series. I can't wait to share this exploration with you. So just before I finish off, I just wanted to make sure I wasn't missing anything that was relevant there. This actually, this is quite cool. I did want to point this out briefly before we finish. This little megaphone icon there pops out a side panel there and brings you to release notes and updates, what to expect in Purview coming soon. So very nice little feature that you can go through and see what is imminent or on the way within Microsoft Purview. So that's really, really cool stuff indeed. So that's it for this video. Let's wind it up. And there you go, we are underway. I hope you enjoyed that first video. Please give me a great big thumbs up if you did. Leave me some comments and thoughts. Please do remember to hit that subscribe button if you've not already done so. Over 80% of viewers on this channel are not subscribed to the channel. Hitting that button is free to do so, and it takes 1 second, and it helps me so much. So please do that for me, and I will be your friend forever. Next video is coming up very soon. We'll try and keep a good pace on this video series. I'll aim for at least 1 video in the series per week. Don't hold me to that, but that's what I'll aim for. I'm sure we'll get through it quite quickly, and I'm really excited about this series. Just a reminder that to consume the rest of the series, you will need to be a member of the channel. Click the join button and you can see all the levels of membership available to you. To consume all videos in this series and indeed all existing members-only video content on this channel, you need to select the Junior Consultant level of membership. Doing so helps me so much, helps me to grow, bring you even more and better content as we move forward, and it's massively appreciated. You have no idea. Don't know why I did that, but from the heart. Anyhow, let's wind things up. Please like, share, subscribe, click join. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I will see you very, very soon. Take care. Bye-bye.